Welcome back to this insane news train that never stops, apparently. I mean, it stops, but it hasn't stopped in the last 4 straight days. We got the Marine Cess support, all 9 cards coming in Chaos Impact. We got all 10 cards for the Hakai archetype, a very new, interesting archetype. Last night we got all 3 of the deck build pack Mystic Fighters decks revealed. And then one day later, they reveal all 13 cards for one of those archetypes, starting with Zonkey. Hopefully, it doesn't take too long for us to get all the other 2 archetypes, but we'll see. But yeah, today we're going through those 13 cards here. Let's jump into it. Well, before we do, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel because I'm bringing the news as fast as I can. Hopefully, doing it the day of it dropping. And yeah, if you want to see more stuff from me, obviously sub for more. Let's start with ZAN-KI Sigma, or Process Slayer Sigma. We don't really know what the name is going to be officially in English, but we got a level 4 light cyberse, not machines, something very interesting to note. He's a tuner as well, with 1000 attack and 1500 defense. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. If you control no monsters in the extra monster zone, and this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can activate this effect. For the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, except cyberse monsters. Also special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Spicy. And we know that the ruling is if he's made into an XZ's monster, he does not actually get banished. He will go to grave and you can resolve him again next turn, which is pretty spicy. But pretty cool. Yeah, I like that it's from hand or graveyard, making it so he's not a brick in the hand. It makes him so he can't be your normal summon and then get himself back from the grave. Pretty cool. And then also, if this card you control is used as synchro material for a Process Slayer monster, you can treat it as a non-tuner. So essentially, this is a tuner or a non-tuner, making it really nice for like those awkward plays where maybe you have 2 tuners. He can just be a non-tuner and make that work, which is really cool. I like him. Okay, cool. Decent first card. Then we're going to Zonkey Nabla. A level 4 dark cyber, so different attributes for them. Interesting. Another tuner effect monster. 1000 attack, 1500 defense. You can only use each of this card's effects name once per turn. You contribute 1 cyberse monster, any cyberse monster, to special summon a Process Slayer, we'll say Zonkey. Special summon 1 Zonkey monster from your deck. Okay, this card is bomb. We literally have a Shiranui Solitaire for the archetype, and it's tribute any cyberse monster. It can be himself, it can be another one on the field. Very, very cool. I like this effect a lot. Then if this card is sent to the graveyard, period, sent anyway, anyhow, target any cyberse monster you control in the extra monster zone, and it can make up to 2 attacks on monsters during each battle phase this turn. Okay, that's a nice little effect, but not crazy important, but I like it. You can, so like literally you can use this effect. If you put him and another one on board, you can just special summon like this guy, and then make the synchro. When he hits the grave, the synchro can attack twice, and we don't really know what the synchro does yet, but you know, then go from there. Then still special this guy back and keep going. But that's pretty cool. Then we have Zonkey Adion, a level 4 fire cyberse effect monster. Okay, its attack is 1000, defense is 1000, and you can only use this guy's effect once per turn. You can target 1 face-up monster on the field as cost, and then for the rest of this turn, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck except for cyberse. Also, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, the targeted monster gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn. Also, this card cannot attack this turn. Okay, so essentially what you need to do is put any monster on the field. It's interesting that you can target any face-up monster on the field, and it's not just locked into archetype, which does make him interesting. Give it 1000 attack. Your extra deck locked into cyberse monsters for the rest of this turn, and then special him. This could almost be like a Salamangrate support card, right? Because it's a fire cyberse. It's locking you into cyberse monsters specifically. This could be an interesting extender for cyberse, I will say. He doesn't seem too good though overall. He himself can attack, which isn't a big deal because he's only 1000. But he can buff something. He locks you into cyberse. In this deck, he's fine. He just doesn't have any. He's fine. He just gets himself out of the hand. Then we have Zonkey Subtra, a level 4 fire cyberse effect monster. 1000 are its stats, and its effects are once per turn. You can target one face-up monster on the field as cost. For the rest of this turn, you are extra deck locked into cyberse monsters, and then also special summon this card from your hand. And if you do, the targeted monster loses 1,000 attack until the end of this turn, and this card cannot attack this turn. I don't know why this one can't attack this turn. That would have been actually kind of nice to literally target an opponent's monster, special summon him, lower them by 1,000, and then probably you can beat over them at that point. Depending on the monster you pick, as long as they're 2,000 or lower. But he can't attack that turn. He still gets himself out of the hand. I think they're fine. Like, they just get themselves out of hand. I think what's important is that they're just like names that can help spam the field. And you can use this on your own monsters. If you plan on linking / synchroing / exing them away, it doesn't matter what you lower, right? Alright, next we have Zonkey Multiplier, a level 4 Earth cyberse effect monster. 500 attack, 2,000 defense. Okay, we actually have one with a decent stat. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. You can target one level 4 cyberse monster you control. Its level becomes 8 until the end of this turn. Okay, so you can make himself level 8 if you want. It's pretty cool. Second effect says if this card is sent to the graveyard generically, you can target a cyberse monster you control in the extra monster zone and double its attack until the end of the turn. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, that's definitely interesting. So clearly this seems like a kind of spam the board and OTK going second kind of deck. We'll see what the rest of the support holds, but that's what I'm getting vibe-wise so far. But he's fine. He's a decent one. He's okay. Then we have another Earth one. This one is Zonkey Division. Level 4 Earth again. 1,500 attack, 1,000 defense. You can only use each of its effects once per turn. You contribute one cyberse monster you control in the extra monster zone to special summon up to one level 4 cyberse monster each from your hand and graveyard. Huh, that's interesting. So you trade in any cyberse monster in the extra monster zone to get one from hand and from graveyard. That's interesting. Some of them already special themselves from hand, so that seems like okay. But it does get 2 on the field, and it depends. Maybe if your opponent fog bladed the guy in the extra monster zone, you just summon this guy out, tribute it to get 2 more on the field, and make him again. Which could be pretty spicy. And then also, if this card is sent to the graveyard generically, target one face-up monster on the field, have its attack until the end of this turn. That's pretty good as well for OTK purposes. And then we move to the extra decks. So we're going to start with Zonkey Magma, a level 8 Fire Cyber Synchro Tuner effect monster. He's a tuner himself, which is pretty spicy, because I see a level 12 underneath of him. So pretty much you make him with 2 of these guys. He generically takes any tuner and any 1+ non-tuner, which is nice, if there is any stuff you can supplement into the deck. He has 2,500 attack and 0 defense, and each of his effects are hard once per turn. When this card destroys a monster by battle, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls and destroy them. Okay, now this is kind of insane because, what was it? One of these guys, I think it's this guy. Yeah, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target a cyberse in the extra monster zone. It can attack twice during each battle phase. So if he gets to attack twice, you attack once, kill something, pop 2 cards, attack again, pop 2 more cards. Kind of insane. Obviously, that's a pretty specific situation, but the ceiling for that is pretty crazy. Then also, if this card is destroyed by battle or in its owner's possession, destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add one Zonkey Speller Trap card from your deck to your hand. Okay, so I like the float. It is a destruction float, which is never the best, but it's a nice little added-on effect, and you can already get really offensive, which is pretty cool. Cool, I like him. A decent little boss monster there. Keep in mind he's a tuner, so you can take him and any other level 4 to go up into this guy, a level 12 Fire Cyber Synchro Effect monster called Zonkey Final Sigma. He has 3,000 attack, 0 defense, takes generically any tuner plus 1 or more non-tuners, so still super generic. And his third effect is a hard once per turn. First effect says he is unaffected by card effects except by Zonkey cards while in the extra monster zone. So he's a towers. So 3 you have built-in towers. Okay. Also double any battle damage this card inflicts to your opponent if this card battles an opponent's monster while this card is in the extra monster zone. So this card will just this card will just kill. Your opponent can affect him. If you can get to this guy, you probably win the duel, right? Assuming you maybe used a Zonkey card to double his attack, and maybe cut one of your opponent's cards in half, or maybe let him attack twice. This card probably is winning you the duel the turn he's summoned, if not the following. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then also, if this card is destroyed by battle or in its owner's possession destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you can add one Zonkey card from your deck to your hand. Another float on destruction, but if it's outed by battle, you can salvage something from it, which is pretty cool. So yeah, that's pretty crazy that we have these two. Then we move to Zonkey Multiplier. A rank 4 Earth Cyberse Xyz effect monster with 2,000 attack and 0 defense. He takes 3 level 4 monsters, not just 2. So he is a little tough. He does take 3 materials, but let's see how good he is. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can attach up to 3 materials from this card, then activate that number of these effects. Send 1 random card from your opponent's hand to the graveyard. Send 1 monster your opponent controls to the graveyard, and send 1 spell or trap card your opponent controls to the graveyard. Then also, if a ZAN-KI card or cards you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can detach a material from this card instead. What's really, really freaking spicy here, this card's completely generic. You could literally make this in any deck, detach 3 materials, and make your opponent discard a card, make your opponent send 1 random card, send a monster, send a spell or trap. This is non-targeting, non-destruction removal as well, which is actually pretty insane. This card I'm actually super interested in, and I think it's pretty solid. I mean, if you can go into the and there's also that one that specials itself back, but it wouldn't actually be banished if you use it for material for this thing, and this thing just wipes a whole board pretty nicely. So I like this a lot. This is almost like a Trishula effect, hitting something from like every facet of the field. But I like that. Cool. He's really cool too. Then we have Zonkey Multiplier, a normal spell card. You can only activate 1 per turn. Target 1 Zonkey monster in your graveyard. Special summon it, and if you do, it gains 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. All right, not bad. That can also be used just to revive the Synchros as well, or the Xyz. I don't know if you'd want the Xyz, but the other ones. Which is pretty spicy as well. I like it. It's a nice little extender built in. It doesn't seem too crazy searchable, so I'm not sure if they would need support to really make this playable in the deck, but not bad. Then we also have ZAN-KI Nayuta, an equip spell. Equip it only to a cyberse monster, and both effects are hard once per turn. If the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster during damage calculation, you can send 1 Zonkey monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then the equipped monster gains attack equal to that monster's until the end of this turn. That's actually pretty spicy because you do have, 3 or 4 of them that have effects that pop off as soon as they hit grave. To either buff your guy, make him attack again. That's actually pretty spicy. And yeah, so actually there is some decent use for this one. I like that. And then also, if this card is sent from the spell and trap zone to the graveyard in any way, target a Zonkey card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. I like that float effect. This may actually be an equipped spell that's actually worth playing in a deck. Wow. Okay. I'm into it. All right, then we got 2 traps. We have Zonkey Kanohu, continuous trap, and its second effect's hard on its return. First effect says cyberse monsters you control gain 500 attack. Okay, nice little buff. Makes those 15 guys 2,000. And then also, if you control a Zonkey monster, you can send this face-up card to the graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. This is actually decent. I get it. Your opponent gets to know that you have that targeting pop, and it is targeting pop, but it's a quick effect. We know Drident's good. We know that's powerful. So I actually think this is fine, and also gives a little buff. I think this card's actually okay. You don't have to send your Zonkey monsters to the graveyard. You just get to pop. I think this card's fine. I think it's actually decent. Then the last card we have here is Zonkey Multiplier, a normal trap card. You can only activate 1 per turn. Target up to 3 Zonkey monsters with different names in your graveyard and activate 1 of these effects. Special summon them, but their effects are negated. And if you do, immediately after this card resolves, synchro summon 1 Zonkey synchro monster using only those monsters. In which case the materials are shuffled back into the deck instead of going to the graveyard. or special summon them, but their effects are negated if you do immediately after discard resolves. XZ summon one ZAN-KI monster, XZ's monster, using only those monsters. Now this card is pretty spicy because this is a really can be an insanely powerful disruption. If your opponent plays any monster and in any spell or trap, you can do this, get all 3 materials, and then just make the XZs. On summon the XZ is going to make them send one from hand, send a monster, and send a spell or trap. And then you can just probably kill their play from there, which is pretty spicy. But this is also a going second deck, I presume? I guess if it's going first deck and you can just make the towers guy with a little bit of disruption, that's probably enough to win a good amount of duels. But yeah, a really interesting archetype. I'm not really sure entirely where it's going. I guess like if you go first, your goal is just make Final Sigma with a little bit of disruption, like Final Sigma with like this trap card set or this trap card set, or what. But they're pretty cool. They're definitely cool. I mean, I think they're spicy. I mean, you can run generic rank 4s. Well, I guess you can, but you can't make them the turn they lock you out of cyberse monsters, or if there are any good cyberse ones. I can't even think off the top of my head. Okay. You know what? We got a new archetype. It's pretty spicy. Let me know if I'm missing anything, if there's any interactions I'm missing out here, if it meshes really well with anything we already have in the game. And yeah, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe if you haven't. You just should. It makes me feel good. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.